Use a permanent marker brush to highlight meaningful words in the journaling on your next scrapbook page. Here is a preview of what we will be creating together. I'll be showing you how to create the highlighted type you see here. This video is being filmed in expert mode of Photoshop Elements, but the instructions are exactly the same for Adobe Photoshop except where noted. Begin by creating any size document at 300 pixels per inch with a white background. I've already created a 12 by 12 inch document. If you'd like to follow along with me, open the DST Highlight Type Poem document from the downloads. Next, get the Move tool. On the document, hold down the Shift key and click and drag the poem onto the new document. Holding down the Shift key while adding something to a document ensures that the item will land in the center of the document. Close the poem without saving. If you want to follow along with your own journaling, type out your journaling on the new document. Then press Ctrl+ in Windows, that's Command+ on a Mac, a few times to zoom into the poem. To reposition the zoom, hold down the spacebar and click and drag on the document. In the Layers panel, the journaling should be the active layer. Hold down the Control key in Windows, that's the Command key on a Mac, and click on the Create a New Layer icon. Holding down the Control or Command key while clicking on the Create a New Layer icon will place the new layer below the active layer. Double-click directly on the name of this new layer and rename it Highlight. Press Enter or Return to commit the change. Now let's get the Brush tool. In the Tool Options, open the Brush Picker, click on the drop-down menu and choose Dry Media Brushes. Choose the Permanent Marker Medium Tip Brush. If you don't see the Permanent Marker Medium Tip Brush, open the Flyout menu and choose Large List. Set the size to 45 pixels, the opacity to 100%, and the mode to normal. Photoshop users will find specific directions in the manual. On the document, hover the brush over the first letter of the journaling. The brush size should be slightly larger than the type. If you need to increase the size of the brush, press the right bracket key. If you need to decrease the size of the brush, press the left bracket key. Now, click on the foreground color chip to open the color picker. In the color picker, choose a bright highlighter color. I'm going to choose hex number F5C729 for a bright yellow color. Then click OK to close the color picker. I have additional hex numbers listed in the manual for green, orange, and pink highlighter colors. But highlighters come in a variety of colors now, not just neon colors, so feel free to use any color that contrasts with your type but complements your page. On the document, holding down the Shift key, click and drag across the entire word you want to highlight. I'm going to highlight the word pictures in the first sentence. Holding down the Shift key while clicking and dragging will create a straight line. Next, let's create another highlight. In the Layers panel, click on the Create a New Layer icon. Double-click directly on the name of this new layer and rename it Highlight 2. Press Enter or Return to commit the change. All the highlight layers should be below the journaling layer in the Layers panel. Then on the document, holding down the Shift key, click and drag across the entire word you want to highlight. I'm going to highlight the word scrapbook in the third line. Repeat these steps for each word you want to highlight. By placing each highlight on its own layer, you can easily make changes later without affecting the other highlights. Once you have created all the highlights you want, in the Layers panel, click on the Type layer to activate it. Holding down the Shift key, click on the bottom highlight layer. Now all the layers in between should be active. Click on the Create a New Group icon. Double-click directly on the name of the new group and rename it Type. Press Enter or Return to commit the change. The type and highlights will be easier to move if you need to adjust the placement of your type if they are all grouped together. Finally, finish your scrapbook page as desired. Here's my finished scrapbook page. I highlighted the name of the park we went to and the names of the rides shown in the photo strip. I love how the rides stand out in the journaling now. For a free PDF version of this video, click on the download link and then make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. This has been Carla Shute from Digital Scrapper, the very best place on the web to find complete and professional instruction for digital scrapbooking. We help you get your stories told.